Candid conversations make for the best conversations. On this special Photo Friday episode, I chatted up with my good friend Vivardy Boursiquot, notable photographer, portrait photographer, and a guy who always makes me angry on how good he is, but it's some positive reinforcement for me to get off my ass and actually create better work. It's not jealousy or competition whatsoever, which is a particular subject we actually get into this episode. So let's do this. Episode 6, Awaken the Awesome. Here we go. I want to throw this one your way. The thing is, I was reading, as I usually do, on a photography forum, as often happens. And I'm realizing, we've been there, okay? Well, I didn't used to do that, but it's still something that's ongoing. And I get this from the novice standpoint versus, the seasoned standpoint, where you post a photo and you launch your picture, you post a photo on whatever forum, Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, whatsoever, and you're asking for critique to these hundreds upon thousands of strangers. Like, okay, what do you people think? Tell me how this is bad. Please give me your opinion. Please, skewer me and, give me your opinion of my work. Now, I'm just throwing it out into the universe. Why do you care what other people think? Because it always comes back, not just on a societal standpoint, but also on an artistic standpoint. I know there are rules. I know there are, standards, if you will, especially in photography. But at the same time, I believe that the most authentic you can be in your art and how you create and push yourself forward is to stay true to yourself, despite what everybody else thinks. Now, are you posting that photo for likes? Are you truly posting that photo for critique? In that sense, I would believe you would submit your photo or creation, whatever, to someone whose opinion you uphold, aka a mentor or a peer whose work has been proven. But the entire aspect of putting it out onto a forum and say like, hello, strangers, tell me what you think, please. I don't know. It's just, it's kind of a soapbox mentality. It's like, please look at me, look at me. Am I being condescending by saying that, or am I just like totally off the grid here? How do you go about that?
There's a few things in there because I feel like I've been in all of those stages. Sometimes you share a picture because the likes do feel good. Like, even if it's not necessarily a good thing to do or to think, but sometimes you do feel good when the likes start coming in.
For sure, it's undeniable. It's a dopamine pump.
But for the forum itself, I think when you put so much effort into it, like, you kind of look for some validation of what you're doing is meaningful. Like, yeah, you want other people to look at what you're doing and see, okay, am I crazy or am I getting good or not? I think it depends on the person.
Okay.
Me, when I did it for a while, like, it didn't last that long, but I think I did it more for, I think this is getting good. Like, am I crazy or, like, let me see what other people think about it. Other people who are interested in photography.
Okay.
But I can't say that's why everyone does it. Like, that's why I did it. But and then at some point you do realize that you don't need them to just do it. I don't know, maybe because you do get the validation. Okay, I'm onto something, or at some point you don't care anymore.
Because at some point you learn really quick, and this is through whatever type of relationship you have, whether in business or in relationships or even artistic. At some point you do reach that. And I don't believe it has anything to do with ego. I also believe it has something to do with self-acceptance in terms of, okay, this is work is this the most authentic work I am producing? And if that is the case, am I happy with the work? Am I happy with the work I'm producing? I think Kevin Smith put it really well when he was talking about how his podcast, the Smodcast, started out and what it's doing right now. He could say, like, yeah, I'm happy that, I'm making money off this and people are getting inspired and I get to do this. And I can't believe, I'm getting sponsors putting me tons of money just to be, just sponsoring this thing that I could be doing in my sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning with, 2 or 3 listeners, and I'd still be happy, you know?
Yeah.
And like that self-acceptance, that joy you would get from creating your own work and that you're happy with, if you got no likes, would you still be happy with it? It's the same, the same scenario, the comedian who's actually, in some podunk bar, down in, navel of nowhere, in the middle of nowhere, and still producing for like, performing for 2 people, or being Kevin Hart, for like performing for 50,000 people. Are you just as happy as you would? Sure, and we're not going to deny it. The likes are good. It's nice to know that your work is appreciated and it's making people react. But at the same time, I highly encourage people, in my own opinion, to not fall into the trap of saying that you need the likes to actually move forward. The only person that's going to push you forward is yourself. And you need to reach that point of self-acceptance where you need to understand, like, okay, what don't I like about my work?
It's also that when you show it to different people, you start to realize that, okay, this person likes this person likes this, so this is what it's going to say. You realize it doesn't matter what they say because it's all about what they like.
Sure.
So if you start changing your photography to please people, well, I like a certain kind of photography. So if you show me a picture, I'm going to judge it based on what I like, or the pictures I like. So if you just put it on the internet and you ask people, what do you think? Maybe they can be objective about the technique, like this is not focused, the composition could, they could make there's ways to make good critiques, but at the end of the day, it's all about what you want to do in photography, what looks good to you, because otherwise you're always going to start, every time you're going to hear a nice comment, you're going to try to reproduce that kind of pictures. And you're not going to do the photography that you want to do or that you need to do. And you're not going to be happy because you're always going to be chasing something that's unobtainable. Having other people to love your photography, having everyone loving your photography, which is never going to happen. So do something that you want to do, and it's going to look like.
And it's all in the same quest for originality, right? We always want to be, set ourselves apart from what's been done before us, but at the same time,
but we don't all want to do that.
Okay.
Some people just want to, some people really want to fit into a group or into a mold. And like, I'm not even being like condescending about it. Like some people just want to fit in.
They just want to make sure they're part of the group. They just want to be part of the tribe.
So that's why like a bunch of people are going to have, if you could look at their Instagram account, it's all a bunch of accounts that look like each other, like the whole getting featured on Instagram. But to be featured on the page, you have to produce pictures that fit on what this page shows. Like they have, it's like a magazine, like they like a certain kind of picture. So if you want to be on that magazine or in that Instagram page, you're going to produce pictures that, but if you look on Instagram, all those featuring page all look the same.
Okay.
Well, to me, like a lot of them look the same way.
A lot.
So basically they're telling you this is the kind of picture you need to do in order. And some people enjoy doing it. Like some people create amazing pictures that will go on either on those pages, on those magazines or whatever. And so now the question is that the photography that they wanted to do in the first place, and they just, coincidentally, this would be perfect on that page? Or do some people actually produce work in order to be featured? And I'm sure there's both. Now, that could be the difference between a commercial photographer and an artist. But it is a skill to be able to provide exactly what the other person wants. But for myself, I prefer having my own personal style and doing what I want.
It's the delicate balance, isn't it? Like, the ongoing seesaw of originality versus popularity.
Yeah. Because if, for example, like you get contracts and you want to work in, and you have to be able to produce also, you have to be able to find your own style maybe, but you need to first please your client.
Okay.
So you need to understand where that balance is for yourself.
Okay.
Like, can you keep now, because I want, when I don't enjoy doing photography, like I have a tendency, you can see the result like going down, like if I don't enjoy what I'm shooting.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to shoot my own style, but at the same time I have to be conscious, is that, are they gonna like this? Are they gonna call me again? So you need to find that balance. And I think like I've taken enough pictures to have my own style, like,
Okay.
so I don't need to think about having my own style anymore. Like I think now, like if I look at the picture I took, like people know, a lot of people around me like recognize my pictures,
That's a
and
fact.
and it's a great thing actually. That's a better feeling than whatever comment on a critic website.
When people recognize your work and say, okay, no, that's Vivardy shot that.
Yeah,
When
Vivaldi shot
somebody,
that.
when Vivardy shot that, it's obvious. It's obvious when you can see it.
Yeah.
But how does Instagram work for you on your feed? Like, do you get suggestions that like, okay, okay, good thing I found that was like nice suggestion. What the hell is this doing in my feed? Type of thing.
Uh,
Because for me, it's
a lot of
50-50.
stuff. Yeah.
Because for me, it's 50-50. I really do, because I really enjoy portraiture. So I really seek out a lot of portrait artists. There's this one feed I really enjoy, earth portraits, and I enjoy the fact when they redirect you to the original photographer. So that really opens up my palette to a bunch of people I wouldn't otherwise know, and it's nice to connect with those people. That's always a lot. That's always a lot of fun. But at the same time, sometimes because you like, if you will, one photo, you end up with a bunch of, okay, it's like unrelated, absolutely not, and you get just bombarded by some of them. It's like, okay, it's like, can we filter this now? It's like, okay, I'm not interested in this at all. But I have to say, as a repository of great photography, Instagram is definitely the place that I'm, obviously a lot of photographers have gravitated to, as opposed to the actual bona fide website. But a lot of people, are just putting everything, banking everything into Instagram. I see that now.
I don't know if it's everything, but most of the PR and the marketing aspect is done on Instagram, because you can upload things every day. Now there's the stories, all that stuff make it becomes that you need to be present there, which I don't really do because I don't feel like doing it. But
Me neither. Me, it's
but,
it's
but
been. Go ahead.
yeah, but you can see that a lot of people are putting priority on Instagram and YouTube. Like if people like can do videos, like people are just taking over YouTube.
I'm trying really hard. Even with this channel, I'm really trying a lot to actually try it. Actually, because again, with the first, I could say facet of the podcast, I really tried to keep pushing out the videos. But the thing is, I believe, again, with this quest for authenticity, I've shifted my mindset in so many things, and sometimes I feel a lot lighter mentally and physically in this creative process. You have to focus on what you're good at. I was telling
Totally.
I was telling Benji that, a couple of days ago. I was telling him, like, you know what? I'm going to keep it to the basics. I'm a broadcaster, yes. I'm a creator, yes. I'm a photographer, yes. But I am not that good at videography. It is, for me, it's just another facet that I have not mastered yet. Probably at some point. Yes, I know that's where everybody's gravitating to. YouTube is the new TV. But you have to focus on what you're good at. And right now, YouTube is not it for me. I'd rather just put the audio on the YouTube channel until I can make quality videos. But I just realized that it's just not my thing. And I'm okay with that. I can live with that totally.
Yeah, that's why I deleted my Twitter account, because that was just not what I was able to do. But yeah, you have to be comfortable with what you're producing and how you interact with the public, whatever that means. But because every one of those platforms have their own code and their own
They have
their
their
own
own
rules.
language.
Yeah,
They
they
have
have
their
their
own
own
language.
language. And so if you don't wanna be in that crowd, don't force yourself to be there. That's how I see it. Like
It's
again,
okay.
yeah, and maybe because I'm not a full-time photographer, like I'm not doing this as a career. Like
There's that too, isn't it? There is
like
that too. There's a mindset that we don't have, you know. For
which
us,
has
it's not that primordial for us to actually be on every single communication or medium to actually
yeah.
try and reach that crowd. You know, we have that leisure to actually take a step back and say, okay, what works for me? Doesn't work here, probably work here. You know?
But I have to admit, like although Instagram is that's the point I wanted to get into, but Instagram, yeah, people put pictures every day. They do a lot of effort in it. But when you have, and I got some photo shoots from it, but I've did my, as you know, like I've launched my website not too long ago, and it's not like most people see the website, but the reaction from the website is a lot different from Instagram.
Okay.
When people see your profile on Instagram, they see the pictures, they like the pictures, they're like, yeah, that's cool. Like, it would be nice to do a shoot soon or something. But when
Okay.
they see the website, now, like, and I really work to make the website look good. Like, it looks professional and it doesn't look something amateurish or something.
We're gonna get to that, by the way. Because I'm
Well,
like, as
yeah,
you're talking, I'm just letting it, just the gallery, just the slideshow just go
yeah,
through. Like, we're definitely, no, I'm watching it right now.
okay.
We're definitely going to talk about it in a second. Definitely. But finish your point. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but the reaction of people now they feel like you get into another level of serious. I don't know. Now it's just like I don't know. They would do a photo shoot, but maybe for free or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like, yeah, people write to me like, I need a headshot. Like, how much do you? It's a
Mm-hmm.
lot easier to start a business relationship with a website than with an Instagram page or a Facebook page.
For sure. For sure.
So that, and I feel like it to go back to what we were saying, like, yeah, it has to be yourself. Like, having that reaction is a lot better for me than having the likes on Instagram. Because having the likes on Instagram wasn't, I don't know, like, I had to turn off the notification from Instagram because I remember just posting a picture and look at my phone every 30 seconds to see how many likes I got. Like, okay, 5 new ones, 10 new ones. And I was just keep looking.
It's a
And I
dopamine
was
pump.
obsessed.
I read an actual research about that saying that the phone you carry in your pocket is an actual dopamine pump. I'll send you the link, but it's really interesting how it was exposed. How for you think you're looking at it for no reason. No, but the phone is designed to attract your attention because the marketers know that it's always in your pocket. So they have to find very creative, very quick and effective ways to get your attention back to that screen. Which is why I lost my phone a couple of weeks ago. Well, basically a couple of months ago. And when I replaced it, and I made the conscious decision to turn off notifications. Right now, the only notifications I will get are I pre-program my wife, obviously, if she needs me.
Yeah.
And if somebody needs me, they'll call me. But if anything I'm consulting on the phone is willingly. I will, check, updates on WhatsApp, check my emails. But aside from that, that is so freeing. Wow.
It is. Like, I
It is.
removed Facebook from my phone, the Facebook app. I kept Messenger, but just removing Facebook. As some days I'm thinking about putting it back, and I pick up a bunch of habits. Like when I get back home,
Mm-hmm.
I remove the phone from my pocket and I put it whatever room I'm in. It's in another room. Like I'm almost never in the same. Well, now it's right there, but
That's a big deal. That's good. That's
or I
good.
put the screen down or whatever. Like I don't want to be
You need to go back
distracted
to the
by the phone.
basics. You can't be
Yeah,
distracted all the time. You need to go back to the basics. That's important. That's really important.
and
Somebody
we have other things to do, like, and being always distracted by that phone, you can't focus on anything anymore.
You do have other things to do, and when you
People are freaking out because you spend 30. It takes you 30 minutes to answer back. Now people just know, like, if you write to
no,
me, I will get back to you, but it might take a few hours.
it might take
But
a few hours, and
I will get
life
back to you.
will go on. Life goes on, man. Life
Exactly.
goes on. Somebody asked me a really weird question some time ago, and I'm not sure how you feel about that one. But this is a nice one about how we manage our time and how we manage our overall creativity here. But I know it's totally random, but I think we talked about this a couple of while ago. Um, are you? Because when I talked about, because I was at my daughter's ballet class, and just crossing a few people, and I was like, "Where don't you do photography?" He was like, "Yes, I do." But we haven't seen you do a lot of gigs recently. So I don't know. I mostly, because, through the entire 2016, 2017 period, I've just basically been in the background. And so mostly just referring and referring and referring.
Yeah.
It's like, you refer people? It's like, but isn't that competition? But, it's like trying to, just suggest as a rivalry, like, either between
Yeah,
you
yeah.
and I, or me and Dimitri, or Coralie, or Olivier Richaud, or, a bunch of people. I'm like, no, we're friends, but at the same time, we're peers. I don't consider us rivals or opponents, but we're peers, and we evolve in a mutual industry, and we create art that is mutual to us, and we build off each other, and we have, I believe, a very strong relationship both creatively and personally. The insights that we share keep us mentally active. The WhatsApp group that we share,
Yeah.
that's a lot. So I had to explain to this person that no, they're not rivals, and it makes me perfectly happy to refer these clients to people that I know and trust and will provide good work, even though it's not my own. But am I pushing the envelope here, or is like, does that, am I totally
No,
like?
no, totally. Like some of my best gig have come from other photographer friends, like either Coralie or Dimitri sent me. Last gig I did was a referral by Dimitri,
I don't understand why
and
the suggestion would be that it would be a rivalry or something. It's just like
and
it's
and also like if you build business or yeah, it's all about trust. And if you're able to refer other people that can deliver, those people will also trust you. Like they trust you when you do a good job when they hire you, but they also trust you when you say, I can't do it for this whatever reason, but I have a friend that can do it. And if the friend also delivers, like the only reason why we refer each other is because we know that the other person can also do the job.
for sure.
So yeah, it's if you're not able to do a contract, there's no reason why not having for not giving it to your friend. Like it's good for your business, it's good for your friendship or whatever. Like
Well, for
I'm
sure.
very grateful when friends of mine tell me like, yeah, I cannot do this job. Can you do it? Like I
I'm going to
put you in
send you
touch
this
or whatever.
client. Here's this client. Here's what they need. This is the event. This is what's going on. This is what was talked about. This is what was discussed. And, you can take it, but there, like, here's the ball. Like, not a problem. Run with it. It's like, and
And
I have,
also like usually when other friend refers to that, it's because it's a serious contract. Also,
mhm.
it's you won't do it if the client is real annoying and shady and doesn't want to pay. Like you're not gonna tell them like, yeah, call my friend. So it's also good in that sense. Like if you send your client, I also know it's gonna be yeah. I won't have the hassle. Like if Olivier send that client to me, like it's because they're cool.
For sure.
So
That there already
it's
is that trust, that vetted process of like, okay, this is actually worth my time.
exactly. So it's because that's another problem. Like, well, it's a problem. It's one of the hard aspect of this business is yeah filtering the clients. Like for all the calls you get, inquiries about how much do you charge for the amount that actually turns into real contracts at the end.
Hmm.
Like you spend a lot of time on potential clients that will never.
Just the
Yeah.
vetting, because people don't think at, again, it's misinformation on their part. that us, who are providing the service, would actually go through the hassle of vetting the client themselves. Because again, it's not just your money, but it's also my time. And this is not ego, but this is really, is this worth my time? Seriously, because if you expect me to take you seriously, you also need to take me seriously. And there's nothing.
And also
Go ahead.
Come finish.
No, I was just like, because just talking about that now, I remember the first time that I understood that I genuinely have, yes, you do have the right to turn down a client.
Yeah.
And, I was probably earlier, one of my earlier wedding gigs. And this is why I decided, really to take my client base very seriously, because if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And with this client, unfortunately, I did not take the contract, and my reasons were very clear. It wasn't a money thing, but listen, I gave you a payment schedule, right? You need to make the initial deposit by this time, okay? And then you have a set, I gave them a certain ratio of time, just like, okay, let's talk this over. But when you get into like, yeah, but, and it's like, okay, this is not happening right now.
Yeah, sometimes we know now. Like, you hear certain answers or questions, like,
I'm very lenient, and I'm the nicest person ever. But when it gets to business, it really needs to be very firm and clear that there are some certain things I'm willing to be a little bit flexible on. But when I see that you're not taking the process seriously, you know what? Let's just cut it here.
Or you have expectations that are totally impossible and unrealistic to meet.
No, this is not happening right now. This is not happening. And I was very courteous. I called them up, like, listen, this was our understanding, and you're not meeting your end, and this is obvious that you're not willing to meet your end. And before this gets ugly at some point for both you and I'd rather keep a very courteous relationship into this process and bow out. And that's it.
Like, I think one of the biggest things that make my photography business I think the biggest jump came when I was in a position where I was able to say no. Like
you want to reach that point.
When I got to the point where I was able to say no, it's like, yeah, that's when I got my best customers and my best contracts and my best experiences.
Because your name gets around.
Yeah, because when you shoot with shitty people, they know other shitty people. And when you know great people, like, yeah, working with the OSM, which is a Korali contact, like, I got a contract with the OSM. And then the OSM did something with Centre Canadien d'Architecture, the CCA.
I saw that one.
And then so they were looking for a photographer, and someone at the OSM said, yeah, sometimes we work with that photographer. If you have them, they call me. And this was my biggest contract last year. It was 2-day contract. And it was my biggest contract.
That's got to be a really big deal.
So that was because I was able to say no to other shitty people that I used to say yes all the time. Like,
there you go.
How much do you charge for this? I don't know. You say $300. Can you do it for $170? And you're like, shit. If I say no, I kind of need that money because I need to buy that thing. And now it's like I have my equipment. Like, well, you always want to buy more, but
you always want to buy more.
But I have my equipment. I have my stuff. And I have enough customers where if I can see that trouble is going to be coming, I just say no. I cannot do it. I will not do it in those conditions.
But do you admit that it's only you have to go through that hurdle of dealing with shitty clients to understand that, okay, you need to actually set your standards really early into your photography career to understand that, yes, you do have choice. There's nothing wrong with doing a $250 wedding or $500 wedding. But if you want to be that $20,000, $40,000, $500,000 wedding photographer, you have to make some adjustments into how you go about, catering to your clientele and catering to your business. You have to know where you want to set your bar, and you have to be willing to make sacrifices and set standards way early. But you have to go through the hurdles and the mud to actually understand that reality.
Totally. Like, yeah, some people understand it quicker than others. But yeah, you do need, well, I think most people go through it. I don't know if you need to go through it, but most people go through it.
Most people go through it.
So, yeah, it reminds you why you don't want to make those mistakes again and say yes to all those people.
No, no, exactly,
And
exactly.
yeah, like I keep negotiate with for like I know you negotiate price all the time. I negotiate a bunch of things all the time, like how fast I give pictures, but
Mm-hmm.
it's always in the negotiation and like as long as I'm comfortable doing it. Like I won't do things that I don't want to do anymore. I
Sure, I get you.
sometimes you meet with people, you're in the meeting and you're like, this is gonna be trouble. Like
You know
this
it.
person is gonna come up with something at some point.
You see it coming.
You see it coming, but you still
Down
say
the road,
yes.
and you know this is going to be really, really cumbersome. And
Because if it's not like I don't know, a caterer, like you have to provide food for an event.
mm-hmm.
As long as you come with the food at that time and the food is good, it's over. For the photography, you take the pictures, you send the pictures, it's still not over. Like how many times like do you have more pictures? Do you can we put them in that website? Can we publish it? Can we do this? And like that's not what we negotiated. If you
That's
want to
not.
publish it, that's another fee.
That's
And
another fee.
if you want to do like it's like no, I don't have other pictures. Or maybe I do, but I don't think they're good enough, and I don't want those pictures to be out. Like, but it's not enough. Like, what's enough pictures for an event? It was a 2 hours event. I sent you 200 pictures. Do you have more?
Do you have more? It's like, why do you want more? What? Why do you want more? It's like,
So
why?
yeah. So all those things are when people start focusing on the amount of pictures and not the quality of pictures. Or, for example, if you cover an event, like if you feel like you look through the pictures and the event is covered, like
Mm-hmm.
you know how the event went, who was there, why is it about the number of pictures? So,
Because a lot of people think that, for the amount of money I'm paying, I expect, like X amount of dollars should equal to, there's a ratio of, dollars for photos. I think. I guess that's the mentality behind it.
but often those clients, like if you cannot explain it to them, like they become the clients that become impossible to deal with and always have.
You can't shake them off. You can't shake them off.
Basically, like you're working, like you think you're done working, like okay, I've took the pictures, I've edited the pictures, I've sent the pictures, and it never ends.
No, it never ends. It never ends
So,
because there's always this additional thing. Can you, hey, hey, I'm your client from like 3 years ago. I just saw that this dress of this person who I don't speak to anymore, sort of was like in the shot. You think you can take it out? True story.
no, it's impossible. But yeah, so when you're able to say no to the people, like you're not just you know that you're not gonna be able to work well with. Yeah, you can focus on people that you like, on a contract that you like, and usually it's also mean that your pictures. In my case, it means that your pictures get better because you enjoy what you're doing more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And although you want to be professional every shoot and shoot with the same, you want to be consistent on your contract. When you enjoy yourself, your pictures look better. So,
I can definitely attest to that because it always goes back to that word that I love. And I've been really bringing this back really with a steamroller because the word authenticity, that's all it is. When you're happy with the work that you are producing, when you're happy with your work, when the passion shows to the work that you're producing and you transmit that passion into whatever you're doing in your photography in this case, it shows. And, passion begets passion. Authenticity begets authenticity. You will weed out the toxicity of the clientele that you don't want, the clients that you don't want, the job that you don't want, and you will bring back to stuff that you love doing. And this is very important. Keep that fire alive. Remember why you used to shoot for when we were shooting for no money. And, you and I both went through that. We started the same place. Basically, this is something that we enjoy doing day in and day out. We keep reading, keep learning from the masters, and, just understand what it is that we want, what it is we don't want. I discovered band photography. I discovered wedding photography. I understand that I don't do automotive photography. I don't do landscape. I know what I do. I know what I don't do. definitely. And you have to love your work, and love the work that you do, and understand that. Listen, it's okay to take a step back. It's okay to just take a breather right now and understand like, okay, where am I taking this work again? Because it's a work in progress. But understand that you have your own standards and you need to be happy and do you. Man, we're being very philosophical today. Totally unrelated segue. The website.
Go. Yes.
The website. So I'm looking at it right now. So again, it's like, okay, so it's not new, but let's just say fairly new, fairly recent.
Yeah, a few months.
Congratulations on launching it. It is definitely something that you were teasing for some time, but the result is definitely worth the wait. VivardyBoursiquot.com. We'll link it to the show notes. Tell me the story behind that. How long was it working? Did you do it yourself? Did you outsource with the program? Like, how? Give me the backstory. Like, feel me. Understand this, because what I'm looking at here is really intense. We've got a really passionate, really dynamic, homepage, full spread on my beautiful iMac here. We've got a welcome page. We've got the basic links, the usual suspects of the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the mailing list and Tumblr and Pinterest. Click the welcome stage, Folly and the Hunter, and we've got different galleries and really nice galleries of portraiture. Here's one by none other than Alice, who's always present. It's like right there. Definitely can't miss Alice. And then we've got events and concerts. You've got galleries, different. So definitely shows a wide array of what you do. And yeah, But the portraiture, man, as always. By the way. Yes. I'm not forgetting you. I know that I'm somewhere into big question mark. Okay, Olivier portrait when he finally finds time to come into the studio. I'm sorry, dad life.
It will happen.
Okay.
I had the first deposit, right? So we have to do it.
So we're making it happen at some point, but I can only thank you for your patience. But long intro. But tell me about the website, man. Congrats. And but what's the story behind it? How did this happen? How do we go from Facebook and Facebook page and Tumblr into the official Vivaldy photography website?
Well, as I said, like there was something missing when people went to see my work. And yeah, it's always Facebook and all those pages, like they control how they show your image. And they're not necessarily made to show images either. Mm-hmm. So I think the platform I had was being Tumblr, but then again, like I wanted to use more Tumblr to write, or I wasn't using it that much. And yeah, I just need something to look professional, so I decided to work on the website. And I feel like I had enough quality pictures to put on the website, which is the other issue. Like, other than having your website look good, you need to have it's a photography website, so the photography needs to be good enough. Mm-hmm. But I just did it on Squarespace, so I didn't have to hire a programmer or anything.
You hear a lot about Squarespace, but it's nice to have somebody and actually debunk it for you. Is it as user friendly and UI and just like WYSIWYG and all these cracked up? Because you hear Squarespace over all the blogs. They're always sponsoring somebody, right? Everything.
So yeah, so that's where I saw it.
For your first experience, like tell me about it. How was your experience?
It's pretty easy to use. Like you have I think it's a 14-day trial when you start.
Okay.
So it lets you work on it's pretty easy. Like you start a page, you choose they have some presets, like preset layouts that you can try. So you just try them and see what looks better, and then you just build your website and you choose a page, and it's really easy to use. Like I have really no complaint to do about it.
Nice. It's really nice, man. It's really nice because I'm just the navigation. Because as geeky as I am, I always try to push the envelope. Okay, from a simple, just taking a backseat as a simple everyday user for a photography website, and I'm just looking at it from a user, not from a photographer standpoint. As a user, I'm really liking the experience because if you just go from the welcome page automatically you have a beautiful spread. Is that Chaya?
Yes.
Okay.
It depends which one.
The pink.
No, it's my cousin.
Okay.
but it's
Okay,
still family. So yeah, they look. She
but
looks like my sister.
yeah, she does. I have no idea because again, I hesitated. It's like, wait a second, is this Cheyenne? Anyway, as a Chadja. But definitely, so you can either let the gallery just the slideshow just play, or you can use the arrows to go left and right if you just want to see the previous photo. So that's really good. Just go through the welcome page and it loads super fast, and then you're welcomed by the thumbnails and the gallery of portraits, and it shows a very wide array of creative and headshots and what portraiture basically is. Even if you're looking at the one with the lady whose back you're seeing out onto
Yeah,
basically the Montreal neighborhood, obviously, there's a very nice setting, and just like
yeah,
it really emotes what you're trying to convey. It's like, okay, this is a very nice. Was it dawn? Was it the afternoon? Let's talk about this one. Like, you know the one I'm talking about. It's like,
yeah, yeah.
is this dawn? Is this the
It is
afternoon?
done.
It's
It
dawn.
is done on a rooftop, and
It's cool. It's cool.
yeah,
That's
it's. We just like I would love to have a photo shoot on a rooftop, and she was like, "Yeah, I have a friend. We can go to his place." Like
cool.
so, yeah, we did a photo shoot, and but doing that website made me realize
Mm,
something like because I wanted the website to be pretty minimalist,
okay.
and I kind of realized that my pictures also were. And when I looked through the pictures, because I love black and white pictures usually,
Mm-hmm.
but most of my pictures, if you look, are like three colors. If you look
Okay.
at the color ones,
Mm-hmm.
they're basically like almost monochrome. Most of them have two or three colors in them,
For sure.
and it's something I have not noticed before.
Okay.
That I never thought like I need to have two tones of color in my pictures. It's just I see something, and when I look at all of them, it's like then all of them have it's like they're monochrome but in color.
But it's true. It's true. There's
Like for example, the
one
one of the
primary.
rooftop,
Mm-hmm.
it's purple and beige orange, something like that.
There's a lot of that going on. I really enjoy the fact that if we're just looking at the portraiture part, because this is what I love about you. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a really big fan of your portraiture because they're clean, they're crisp, there's a lot going on, and you look at the subject. It's definitely a very revealing piece and something that seemingly forgive if I'm offensive, but it's seemingly so simple. There's not a
Yeah,
lot going on, but at the same time, they're all very powerful images. But I have to ask, how hard is it to curate your own work just to boil it down to a couple of images?
it's hard, man.
I
It's really
know it's a
hard.
rhetorical question. I'm sorry.
No, but because the thing is, uh, as I said in one of other podcasts, I'm never really satisfied with my photography.
You never are.
So so you need to get out of that mind. At the same time, this is the mindset that gets you to want to improve. But when you do a website, you need to stop having that thought process and say, okay, now what's good enough to be there, knowing that all of those pictures, I have problems with all of them.
Of course, there's a lot that you see that others don't.
Exactly.
That's the ongoing, damnation of the true to form creative. There's a lot of stuff that you don't like, but a lot of people will go to you and like, whoa, what are you talking about? This is an amazing image, an amazing image.
So the first step is in your head, where you need to change the way you look at your pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and then you find a lot of pictures that fit that individually are good enough to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So then you start putting them next to each other and you start scrolling through them. It's like, okay, that picture looks nice to this picture. I don't know. I thought about like if you go through the gallery,
Mm-hmm.
what does experience look like? Like how like how have different styles together, because it's not like I have a lot of different sections.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of different people. Some pictures are black and white, some are color, Some are outside, some are in studio.
Mm-hmm.
So you want the website to feel as natural. You want the experience to be like, you think during the whole process, you need to build something that you like, going back to that, what you like and what others like, dynamic. So you have to put the picture that you like, and then you have to also think about the user going on your website. And you have to remember that the website is a tool to get, to get customers.
Obviously.
You want to get clients. So you need to think about, okay, what's their experience like when they look at the pictures?
The way I like to put it, because somebody asked me how, again, it was a rhetorical question, but I told somebody this because that's when somebody told me eventually, one of my mentors, he told me that your website is supposed to answer some 3 basic questions. Who are you? What do you do? And can you do the work I need you to do?
Yeah.
So who are you? Vivardy Boursiquot. What do you do? I photograph people. I photograph events. It's already there. It's already all over the place. I'm very good at portraiture, and this is the type of photography I do. And can you do the work I need you to do? I don't know. Look around. Like, okay, if what you see falls into the line of what you might want, let's talk. Let's talk.
Totally.
Do not
put. It saves a lot of conversations.
Saves a lot of conversation.
That Facebook or Instagram cannot do. Like all those pictures are also on Instagram.
There you go. It's very, very simple. You need to answer. And when my mentor told me that, it's like, that makes a lot of sense. He told me, like, take away any stuff that you don't see yourself doing. Again, I go back to, automotive photography. I could shoot a car if I borrowed a friend's Mercedes or BMW just for fun. I'd borrow the car and shoot it in a parking lot or something. But that is not something I would do. But, well, if BMW called me up, that's a different thing. I don't see why they would, but
exactly.
I know very well that they wouldn't. But, on your website, it definitely shows what you are, what your strong skills are, what type of photography you do, and the breadth of your portfolio and your skills. It's obvious what you do, but it's also, I don't need to waste my time asking myself, okay, does he do that or doesn't he? It's obvious. Okay, you show what you're good at. And this is why it's also very important. You always show your best work. Don't waste your time. Again, Facebook, personal photos, and even there, if you have your professional photography page, that's there. Your personal page, that's another thing. Weekend barbecues, that's your thing. That's on your personal time. But on your website, it is very important that you always cater to your best work because you don't know who's watching. You don't know who's going to pay a visit. I got an email from a magazine a couple of weeks ago about a blog post I wrote 4 years ago. It was like so weird. But again, you have no idea what type of, an impact you're having into the universe. So always put your best foot forward. As stupid and cliche as it sounds, it's a very resounding truth into how you're supposed to promote yourself. Totally. But definitely kudos, man. It's definitely a very, very well catered website. It's polished. It's clean. As you say, it's minimalistic. It's everything it needs to be to do the job it needs to. But kudos to that. I'm not saying that just because you're my friend, but really because I really appreciate everything you've done. And I really think that you deserve the acknowledgement for that because it's not something to laugh at. It's a very well done website. Everything it needs to be.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
Seriously. But I
really appreciate it. Thank you.
No, seriously. So I'm really trying to, again, on myself, because a lot of people are asking me, like, okay, am I redoing my website? Definitely, that's in the works, but that's my own personal goal. I don't want to reuse past work. I definitely want to create a website made of entirely new work. This is why I'm doing a lot of stuff in the background. I'm not publishing anything these past few days. I'm getting back into the groove of just shooting for myself, something I haven't done in a long time. But I'm definitely aiming for a new website, in the coming months. I don't know what it's going to look like. It's basically up in my head right now, and I'm using my wife basically as a guinea pig, just, okay, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And she's being very collaborative on that part. But definitely, I'm going to open up to you guys, you and Dimitri and Korali, just like, just slowly see, okay, just like, just do some testing, see what I can work with. But definitely that's a plan in the long term, because I really want to keep being creative. But at some point, the old website is still active, but definitely something I really needs to be updated, because I haven't published some new photography in a really long time. But that's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
even me too. Like I've been saying, I want to update my website since beginning of September, but I've been so busy. Like I have some pictures I want to put there, but I want to shoot more. So I need
you get caught up. It's okay.
So I need to find the time I need to make the time to shoot those.
Make the time. There you go. Definitely find the time. But what else did I want to get into? I got so many notes, man. Give me a quick second. I had something here. Wait a second. What did I write down? Yeah, this is interesting. It was about ethics. Okay.
Sure.
And I totally how can I set this up? This is an old story.
Yeah.
It's an old story. I remember it was a bullfighter that unfortunately, met his end in the bull ring. Okay, fine. I know it's cultural. I know bullfighting. We're not going to get into the politics or what you personally feel about the sport, if it can be called a sport. All right. But in this day and age of 2017, when a guy gets skewered by a bull in front of thousands of people, there's a cell phone there somewhere. There's a photographer there somewhere. As a photographer, do you publish? Or do you say, like, what? Respect for the family, respect for the person who lost their lives. You know what? I myself, in my heart of hearts, cannot publish this image. I don't know where you fall on that. I know it's a really wide open question, depending on where you stand. Are you a photojournalist? Are you putting this on Facebook? Do you want to make a quick buck and send this to TMZ? What do you do?
Yeah, what do I do? Well, personally, since you said putting the politics aside, I think the value of publishing that picture is exactly for the politics of it.
Okay.
Is if you think that this activity should keep going on and then you shouldn't have an issue. Are you ready to accept the consequence of that sport or that event or that whatever you want to call it?
Mm-hmm.
So the death of a bull rider or bull whatever, or a toreador is one of the consequences. So yeah, I would publish it because it's part of the reality of this event. But that's a more photojournalistic approach to it.
It is, isn't it? Because it's all about, okay, how does this image contribute to the overall story of either the risks involved into continuing this ongoing tradition that is bullfighting in Spain, because it's a really big deal in Spain.
Exactly. So if you want to publish it in that context, I would definitely do it. Whether you're for or against it, it's part of it.
It's part of the story.
So now if you want to publish it just for the TMZ aspect of it, which I don't even think they would publish it, but yeah, that's something totally different. That's let's look at someone dying on the side of the road thing, which has no interest at all. I think the interest is in the politics of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I would personally publish it.
Definitely. Because I know, and again, that's why I really wanted, I know Dimitri always has, some insight about on the photojournalistic aspect about that. But me personally, definitely, if you're, Reuters or, AP or something, and you're covering that type of a story, in terms of, the sports mindset, but really in a really social political standard, definitely I can understand how you really have to set your own personal vendetta, either for or against the sport, if you will. I really use that word lightly, and really help convey the story of, the for or against. You make up your mind. Well, here's the image. You make up your mind as to what it represents, and how you choose to basically react to the story, or you going to keep on, promoting it, or you keep on, because there are people who just grew up their entire lives just hoping that one day they will be able to face a bull in the eye and, maybe meet their match and meet their end because for them it's what's called a good death, and because you never know, maybe that guy's thought like, okay,
but that's what I mean. Like whether you're for it or against it, if you're for it, you accept that's part of this event. Like
it's part of the deal.
It's part of the deal. So yeah, so if you don't wanna see people dying, then don't make it a spectacle. Don't make a spectacle. If you make a spectacle out of it, you decide that that's something that can be shown to other people.
That can be shown. It's totally acceptable.
So that's
acceptable. I don't know, just because again, like I said, it's an old story, but I just kept thinking about obviously all the people that are there, and I know there have been cell phones. I'm sure there was a photographer there somewhere. And again, I just tell myself, okay, if I'm there and I'm shooting this event and this is happening in front of me and I have that photo, okay, so if I'm the staff photographer for Reuters or AP or whatever news agency, like, okay, you definitely have to have another type of mindset to publish that photo. And again, we're just going to extrapolate down to, wartime photographers or anybody, covering any conflict photography. You always have to be in that mindset where you have to basically detach yourself from the morals and actually know that the story needs to get out there because, you're the witness and you need to tell the truth of how it is. We should definitely talk about, the rigors of photojournalistic integrity at some point because we don't have enough time right now, but it definitely needs to be something we need to talk about at some point, because it's a really nice subject. Because from what I understand, because you and I both touched on that a little bit, but definitely what the rigorous standards applied to photojournalistic integrity, it's something. Even like World Press Photo Contest or what's actually submitted via the AP news briefs or something. It's insane the type of stuff that is like editing and we're not even going to get to that. It's kind of a teaser. But just talking about it, it definitely would make some nice, juicy commentary at some point. But we'll definitely try to touch on it if you have time.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, we'll make a date. Oh, damn. Aside from that, we covered a lot tonight, man. Wow. I had no idea where this was going to go tonight, but man, I had a lot of fun.
I'm just following your lead.
Wow, man. Crazy. But okay, so this last little tidbit. I don't know about you, but I'll admit it personally. I don't follow gear news as much as I used to, and I don't know is because I have 2 young children and I can't afford photo gear as much as I used to. Okay, or because I'm totally detached. Because hey, I got my bodies, I've got my lenses. And for the type of photography I'm doing right now, I am perfectly content, all right? Because I have the manuals, the very basic ones that Nikon sent me, and the extrapolated ones that, people like, Photokina, Nikonians, the Nikonian version of my camera, okay? So I have not exhausted even 20% of that manual. So I fairly think that I'm pretty good into everything that the potential that my bodies can produce for me. So I don't need, the new bodies right now. And just looking at the prices, upwards of like $3,500 plus, would I really drop it on a new body? I don't think so. But again, it's all about, if you can't afford it, obviously, why in the world would I want to drop so much money on a camera? But hey, suppose if money were no object, would I be really looking for new gear? I don't know. Sometimes I'm just scratching my head. Would I really be dropping money on a new body right now? But I'm fairly certain that the fact that, again, it's all when you're in dad life more than photographer life, I think that's an impact as well.
Probably.
This is not regret talking right now. Seriously, I'm really in a zen.
What you do with the photography also.
Seriously, it's a zen. It's a state of acceptance, Certainly. But I'm like, do I really need it? Because again, I've got all the gear I need to produce quality work for now. Right now I'm totally good. I got no place I'm going. Plus, again, they're working really well for me right now, and I'm doing very good work with it. Whether in software, whether in hardware, whether in lenses, I'm pretty set up. And again, it's all about feeding the knowledge. Right now, I'm all about learning. Now, about you, I'm reading a lot. I'm looking at a lot of art books. I'm relearning techniques. I'm finding new creative ways to create, interesting shots, indoors and outdoors, playing with light. As you know, light is the language of photography. So I'm having fun right now. I'm really exploring, but I'm not really focused on gearing those. It even took 2 seconds to just, and this is very random. I went on a Frono's Photo YouTube, review of the latest Nikon, and I just spent 20 minutes listening to Jared talk. I'm like, why does this matter? It's like, at the end of the day, I'm still gonna, what? I don't know. I'm sorry, but it's just, I don't know. Sometimes, there are actually people who are taking notes and thinking, like, okay, this is a very valid point.
Yeah, well, for me, there's two different aspects of it. Like following the geared news is for me a totally different topic than do I need other gear.
Okay.
For me, I just love geared news because I love to know what they're doing. But sometimes I don't follow it anymore for a certain period of time, and then I come back to it. Like right now, I am on it. Like I was excited about the Nikon 850, like the D850.
Yeah.
Like,
and the only reason I got news from that though is because obviously Dimitri and Yannick shared it on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, really? There's a new beast in town. Interesting.
Yeah, it is a beast. It is a beast.
It is a beast. And I read the DP review on it. I'm like, oh, okay. So,
Yeah,
okay.
Nikon decided to remind people like why they are Nikon.
Why they're Nikon.
But no, so yeah, the gear aspect is just, I guess, the geek. The geek that's still there that wants to know like what's the new toys. And also like to know like what's also possible to do, like is there just some curiosity just to know like is there something like is there something I could do that I'm not doing right now? Like what's the new gadget? What's the new feature? What could I do if I had that camera? But you know that you're not going to spend that money.
You know you're not going to spend that money.
Like I'm not going to spend that money right now.
How have we evolved? Okay, a basic comparison versus what I couldn't do versus what I can do right now, and how is this setting myself aside? How is this setting itself apart?
Yeah.
Because right now, just off the top, I'm on BH Photo right now, and just the body is $3,300.
Yeah,
just the body. But again, 45.7 megs for full frame.
No, this camera is insane. Like
it's insane.
The photography, the video, like I don't know what the video looks like, but all the autofocus and the sensor on the camera
makes you salivate. I swear, seriously. I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, wow, and I'm closing my tab.
Yeah, because I'm also thinking about doing videos. Like I'm starting to learn video, which is I try to remember it wasn't that hard to learn photography. I feel it was a bit easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in that process also right now. So yeah, I'm starting to look at. I used to not care at all about all the video specs. Now I'm trying to like be interested in that.
I'm just trying to be curious, and it's another learning curve. It's a whole other mindset.
Totally.
Speaking to Eric and Benji, you take a second and you hear the language and you realize, okay, this is totally be still imaging and motion, not the same thing.
There's some similarities, but yeah, it's not the same thing at all.
It's not the same thing. And again, everything is a learning curve. Eventually, I'll be curious enough or give myself the time enough to learn. And it's all about the learning process. I'm not dying tomorrow, but definitely I'll open up the palettes of curiosity long enough to actually give it the time, But right now,
like once in a while, like I check or I see something. Usually it's Dimitri send me a text. Have you seen this? did you check that new Nikon lens? Or pretty often, Dimitri, like,
Yeah, Dimitri's, I don't know, for some reason, he's just dropping nuggets everywhere. It's like, have you seen this? I read this thing. I'm gonna just drop it. I'm just dropping
yeah,
this
yeah,
here.
he's, I don't know, he's my own, like, personal curator of news. But, but yeah, so, but gear, like, right now, like, I'm really into, like, different lens, not lens, yeah, well, I'm interested. Like, the gear I would buy is lenses.
For sure. And again, I'm not going to be all preachy and stuff from my high horse of philosophy. No, don't get it twisted. I enjoy gear. I enjoy gear. I
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah.
the geek aspect. There's no problem. I enjoy reading about articles and seeing new developments and comparing Nikons to Panasonics to Sonys. I enjoy all of it. But sometimes, when you take a step back, it's like, really, I'm gear listing right now. Understanding I'm gear listing, but it's okay. It's okay because that's what it's there for, man. We love toys. We love to play around with stuff. You love to fiddle. You love to see, like, okay, this camera that I had, which works perfectly fine, but this one is so nice and so shiny.
But
You
right
always want
now,
the
the other
new.
thing I want to buy is a camera just to go back to street. And just want a little camera that I can carry around. Because since I bought my full frame camera, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't go out with the camera anymore. It's way
Oh,
too heavy. So I need, yeah, that's what I'm gonna buy next. A little camera, like, I can put in my pocket somewhere. I can
just disappear.
I can just shoot something better than iPhone pictures.
Something I think my solution, basically like the mid level of that solution for me, basically just stick to a fixed 50. And okay, I have a full body, but again, I'm not weighed down by a big ass lens. Just carry it around, just like randomly. I don't do it every day, but sometimes I will go out. Just take 2 seconds, like if you're either in front of the house and watch bikes go by, because
Yeah.
there's a bike path in front of the house. You just sit there and watch people go by. Oh, this is interesting because I'm relearning because I've been, again, it's all about taking the time to just focus, not shoot, spray and pray. Just like focus. Okay, why? What is the intent of this image that you're trying to make? Before you press down on the shutter, why are you doing this? Or not even overthinking. Just shoot. Say, okay, see what we come up with. See what we come up with. See what we come up with. Because Instagram is something, shooting with your body is something, just taking a second to shoot indoors, shooting a studio shot is something. You have to relearn the language. This is where I am right now. I'm in the language of like, okay, redefining the type of photography I want to make. Get back into that innocent mindsets of being naive and just explore and just like just enjoy it for what it is, which is art. It was just told, which is why we started shooting in the first place.
Exactly, but yeah, this camera I feel like, because it's so big, and I remember Coralie saying the same thing with her when she has her D800.
The D800, yeah.
It's so big and heavy, like you don't want to carry it around. Like it's a lot heavier than you actually think it is.
It's a big camera. I borrowed the D100 for just because I needed a second body just as an emergency for a wedding. So that's the first time. I think Kwali just had it, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
really quick for everything I can borrow it. So yeah, sure. When I brought it in the field, because I just wanted to do some creative shows, like, okay, might as well. If I'm here, like, just when I had some downtime, during dinner and stuff, like, okay, let me just play around with it. Oh my God, it's a big camera. I've got big hands, but still, even for me, it's
And
a lot to deal with.
yeah, and I love shooting with it. It's fun. Like it fits perfect in my hand. Like and you feel like you're working. I don't know. I like it, but I'm not gonna go to
You
hang out with
feel
my friends
you
and
feel
bring in the
important.
camera with me.
You feel important. It's like, look at me. It's like, I'm an important photographer.
Yeah, but it does help when you're at an event and people look at you. They're, okay,
So,
he's the
okay,
photographer.
he's the photographer. Okay, this is very serious. Okay, this is okay. He's the guy. He's the guy.
He's just not like he's not one of those guys with an iPhone taking pictures. Like people will pose for you, and like it's a lot easier. But as I said, I'm not gonna go like hang out. Like my brother told me the other day, like you used to have your camera everywhere you went. Like
Guilty.
Exactly. So every little hangout you had with friends, like you will have your camera. So every time you will see a picture, the camera would be with you. And sure, now we do have iPhones that take the same pictures. Well, that you can take pictures with, but it's
Hmm.
not the same.
It's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing. So,
It's not the same thing.
and you can see Dimitri still has that little camera, and you see he's taking a lot more pictures, and it helps him a lot. And the big camera becomes just his work camera.
It's a work camera. It's a work camera, and the body stays at home, and you have a very soft, very unobtrusive camera just to go around and just take those candids that we're used to. Dimitri is very good at that. Just being in the background, and again, it's part of the scenery. Because we're used to seeing Dimitri with it. It's just like his glasses. It's just part of him. So it's unobtrusive, but sometimes that's which often happens with large DSLRs. You notice the body before you actually, it sort of breaks the entire relationship between the photographer and the subject.
Totally.
So it gets in the way. When you have a really small body, it's just, okay, it's just an accessory rather than just being a tool.
And it's also the fact that you bring it with you.
There you go.
You can actually put it in well, depending on the camera, but you can put it in your coat jacket, or you can carry it with you. It's a lot easier than to have a huge body around you. So
For sure.
That would be probably, if I had to buy gear soon, that would be it.
I'm definitely looking at lenses. For me, that's all about. I would, augment. If I'd be in a state right now where, okay, what is it that you would need? Right now, it'd be like, just get a little bit more, 2 or 3 more lenses. I'm just playing around with that, with different ideas. But just that's one thing. If I'm really looking at gear right now, not really bodies, but more lenses. Like better. It's not just about more megapixels, but the quality of megapixels, the type of images that the light coming into my sensor, and how I'm processing it. So
yeah, lenses change everything. Like
lenses definitely where I'm at
like
right now.
1.8 from Canon. It's good indoors, but outdoors that lens just will, I don't know, man, becomes fog. Not what's the word I'm looking for? Haze. There's a lot of haze. As soon as you have some light from the sun getting in through that lens, your picture's gonna be full with haze. And it's known for it to do that. So I would probably need a better 50, or just not shoot at 50. I don't know, but a bunch of things like that. But it's always to fix little issues. Like I think I got to a point where I can do more, like 95% what I want with the lenses I have. So then, like I need, for example, the 50 would be nice to have a better 50. It would be nice to have a faster wide angle for events, for example. Like,
that helps.
I have a 24 105 f4. It would be nice to have, like, I don't know, a 28 f2.
Nice.
Or a 2.8 at least.
Open up that sucker.
Yeah, because most events are in the dark, and you need to get close to people, so you need some light.
Imagine that.
But yeah, sometimes you have, well, most of the time I do have a flash, but for example, last time there was a dinner, and they said like no flash during the dinner.
Yay.
So, and you can imagine the light they have during the dinner.
Oh, you have as much light as you need, of course. It's perfectly crisp and clear, no grain whatsoever.
But they said like they didn't mind the grain, but they didn't want flashing, because there were a lot of older people there also, and they just didn't want to. They just didn't want to flash in their eyes during the dinner. Like they didn't want the guests to notice that the photographer was there.
They didn't want to upset the entire atmosphere with a flash.
Exactly.
It totally makes sense. As a professional. As a professional, you're supposed to abide by, the request of your client. And I don't believe that no flash is an unreasonable request. It just becomes another technical challenge.
Exactly. So in that specific moment, I was like, yeah, maybe I would need a faster lens right now. I still did it with my lens. I cranked up the ISO,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's now like when I look at lenses, it's perfect something. I'm covered from 24 to 200 millimeters.
Mm-hmm.
I have I think I have 4 or 5 lenses now. So like, it's really like to get that 5% more. The closer I can get to like I said, like 95% what I want to do, like I have the lens to do it. Like it's that 5% that I need. Well, not that I need, but if I buy lens, but to finish those 5%, the lenses start to get a lot more expensive.
There you go.
I think
A little bit more quality just goes up a little bit, man. $500, $600, $700 more. Yay!
Oh, it's more than that. I got to a point where lenses I need now are like $1,000,
Yeah.
$1,200.
I'm being very conservative. I'm being very conservative.
Yeah. When you move to full frame, like lenses price go up.
Yeah, skyrocket. But hey, this is the art. This is the trade we decided to actually venture into. So, like we said, it's part of the deal.
Yeah, and as soon like right now, like I'm not in a rush to buy them. Like I'm not gonna.
No, but it's okay to lust. It's okay to lust until, we make that Oprah money.
I'm not gonna wait till probably. I'm just gonna wait for a few good contracts. You can always you lend a few contracts and you buy one of those if you want.
One at a time. We'll get there. As always. Keep doing the quality work that you're doing. As far as you're concerned, I'm not worried at all, man. No, it's just like, again, always tipping my hat to you, man. Just keep doing that great work that you do, man. I'm not even worried. Not even.
I'm trying.
Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. We're definitely going to wrap this up. I can't thank you much for your time. As always, I like to close it up, with always launching some positivity into the universe, with a tip, a thought, a recommendation.
Yeah.
The floor is yours. Where do you let everybody off tonight?
What? I always forget that part. It's funny because today I was listening. Well, it's in French, but to interview Cartier-Bresson did in the 70s, and it was just an interview about his work and how he sees shooting people in the street, and it was really like it really made me want to shoot. It's on France Culture.
Okay.
And let me try to find it. Let me see. Where is it? Yeah, France Culture, Henri Cartier-Bresson, ou l'art de passer inaperçu avec son appareil en faisant l'idiot. So basically,
wow.
He said the art of taking pictures in the street is just to shoot first. It's just like,
wow.
It's like people don't like to be taking photography, and they want to be taking shots of in the street. And so she was like, so what's the secret? Well, you just have to be faster than them. And then when you're done, look idiot enough.
Wow.
To just be able to walk away and pretend people you haven't noticed. But the whole habit of, like going back to the masters and see like, well, if you like street photography, like Cartier-Bresson is someone that has a lot of thoughts on actually job of taking of a picture on the street and how to view a scene. So going back to, if there's a lot of interviews of Cartier-Bresson on YouTube, or if you can read his books. I don't know, I had it today. I saw the interview today, and it really made me want to. It made me feel like going back in the street and shooting again. So
there you go.
So maybe it would work for some people just to find some more motivation.
Definitely falls in line. I'm basically going to piggyback on that one, because for me, it's all about, I can only talk from a personal experience because this is what I'm going through right now. Go back to your core and think about the days where you used to shoot just for the heck of shooting. Just, again, I'm sorry for cursing, just because, you did not give a shit. Just go out, I remember days where, I was working nights. You remember those days, like, working nights and going to school during the day. And, on my day off, I had a day, grab my little, like, my little digital camera and just go out into the streets of Montreal, just shooting graffitis, just shooting park signs, just shooting just for the heck of shooting. And I loved it. I would not trade that for the world. And, just for the sake of the love of photography. At some point, you make it into a business and a career and, and all that jazz, and life takes over. But never forget to your core, the core and the passion and just the entire innocence of just shooting for the sake of shooting. Don't let go of that. But if you have, don't worry. It's still there. Reach out and grab it. And trust me, it's definitely worth it not to lose it again. Grab it and enjoy it. Ride the wave. Just be totally naive and just run with the wind and just totally just make it happen. It's not about the likes. It is not about what other people think. It's nice to get the opinion of people that you respect and to whose opinion matters to you and who have a proven track record of proficiency and efficiency in what they do. But at the same time, do you. That's how I see it.
Totally. Do you still have those pictures of the street signs, by the way?
I do. Would you believe it? They're in my archives, and I do not believe how many street signs in Montreal I used to do. That was actually an actual project of mine, in Montreal street signs. And my entire idea behind it was to shoot street corners and to suggest to the person who was looking at the phone, like, okay, where is that in Montreal? And use the power of Google Maps to say, okay, that's where it is. And you actually end up into a nice part of the Montreal neighborhood that I explored. That was the overall thought process behind it, but man, I actually do. It's really old. Man, you sent me back, man. Wow. Stop doing that. Stop it.
Would be time to put them on Instagram or something.
Definitely should.
It was a nice project.
It was a nice project. See, when you have time to think about the dumb ideas and you just run with it, just run with it, man.
Do them.
You just do it. Seriously, not taking a ride on Nike, but seriously, you just do it. Viv, it's always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for your time, man. Seriously. As always, I'll definitely link all the websites and the links and all the tidbits in the posting. I'll definitely try to have this episode online within the next couple of days, so look out for that. And as always, my friend, thank you so much for your time, and we'll definitely to set up a date for that headshot.
We will do that.
Before the snow happens, let's try.
We will.
As always, man, thanks again. Have a great night.
Thanks. Have a good night.